What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick Valley.
My name is Jonah Doc and I.
And this
we're
is
Rev Revolution!
Welcome back to the show. If you're noticing, we don't have anybody with us this week. There's a reason for that. We really wanted to kind of we were both thinking it. Joe, what were you just telling me before we went on air?
Yeah, so yesterday Nick texted me and was like, "Yo, do you want to just do an episode with no guests? Just like, because we've had so many guests, we've loved having guests, but so much has happened.
Oh yeah, it's
to
been amazing.
both of us in that time frame that like we was like we need to have a catch up episode with you guys, and also like Nick and I haven't gotten a chance to catch up because we've been so busy."
No,
this is like the only time
we've seen each other. We've had to focus on an interview.
Yeah, we've had to focus on the interview. Exactly. This is the one time we get to see each other every week. So it'll be good for everyone to catch up on how both of our lives are going.
I agree. I definitely agree. And for us, it's selfishly to get to talk to each other for a little bit at least. It is. I'm really excited about, and like you said, we've had a ton of guests. We've been loving it. We have a ton more coming your way. So if you think this is the end, we're just getting started this season. It's going to be a long season of guests and amazing time. But we wanted to do a pause like this here, not like the halfway point, but maybe we're a quarter into the season. And maybe we could do this so we can get that rapport. Maybe quarterly we can make sure.
Yeah, every once in a while, I think we'll do one just by ourselves.
Not us planning our show and the recording of the episode. Not editing it out either. Just letting everybody know our back. Yeah. There's no behind the scenes anything on this show. It's all in front of you. We hop on here and we go, okay, let's press record and see what happens. So on that note,
but you guys
I'm really
know that
and
you guys love it. Man. So
that's why you watch the show, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we need swag. We need swag for this show. We need merch and shit.
We
really should.
We should do
beanies. It'd be a sin if we didn't.
Yeah, beanies before winter hits. Full drop beanies.
So fast, man. Full drop. Get your drip.
Yeah.
On that note, oh my god, I'm so glad we're back to this week. How have you been, man? You've been one busy motherfucker. I have not been able to get in touch with Jonah Doc and I in a long time. So
it's been crazy, man. For ever since March hit, gigs have been nonstop. I think the longest break I've had was a week, and that's only happened twice in the span. In the span of 30 days, we played 10 shows, which is
that's wild.
It's been so fun, and it's been everything that I've dreamed of. But it is tiring when people say that touring is a hard lifestyle. They are not lying to you. We did have, so for the most part, it's just been every single weekend we've had a gig, but then during Xavier's spring break, which was a month and a half or so ago, we went on our first mini tour. We had 5 shows in 8 days. We started off the first weekend. We played House of Blues in Anaheim, which was crazy. That was a really fun show. We were invited down by our friends Cutie, which is a local band from Fresno, and then.
Maybe we'll get on the show at some point.
Yeah, at some point, I'd love to get on the show because I'm going to do a little plug for them right now. A couple weeks ago, they released their very first single. They're also a sibling band as well. So.
Oh my God, would you look at that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a new metal scene of just Partridge Families. It's actually
There's
hilarious.
So many sibling bands that are coming out in this generation.
Hey, if it worked for Van Halen, it works. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that is true. But
it works.
Yeah, back to the tour. So it was the first couple shows were really interesting. So because House of Blues, which is crazy. Everyone knows the name House of Blues if you're in or if you're in any genre. There's they have so many acts there. And then a couple days later, we came back home and we did a show. One of the elementary schools in Mariposa was doing spring break camp, and my guitar teacher.
Is it the school that you went to?
No, it wasn't. But it's the one like right next to the high school.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Though. Yeah, but it's really funny because all the I knew everyone that was working the spring break camp because my guitar teacher was the one that invited us down, and then like all my friends' moms who were teachers were running it. So it was like when I was looking for like
that's
someone
actually
to
really
ask,
funny.
Yeah, I was like looking for someone to ask who was running it, and then there's like I ran into my friend Spencer's mom, and I was like, who do I ask? And it was like, oh, go ask Lacey's mom, and then it's small town things. I love living in a small town.
For sure. Can I just tell you something real quick that reminded me of? Not that part, the elementary school part, because I did the most rock and roll thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm really proud of it. Is I drove by my old school the other day, and I gave them the finger out the window as I drove by, and I'm really proud of myself.
Nice.
Because I hated my school. I hated my school, and I'm really glad that I did that. But that's a side note for a different conversation. We'll table that conversation. But I was feeling very triumphant and very rebellious because of a little thing that I want to throw in here real quick. I finally graduated high school last week.
Let's go!
Let's go!
You're free!
I feel so good. I'm kind of. I still live at home, so we're like halfway there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Living
but
on
at least,
which I want to get into the Bon Jovi documentary in a minute, but I wanted to make sure I shelved. That would have been a good segue, but I'm going to do it again later just because why not? But, yeah, no, I feel great, man. I'm really excited. The diploma, I've been waiting for this to be over for many years, and I feel good.
Now you could focus, purely on music, right? You're on your music and acting.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I don't have any school time every day, which is incredible because it's a bitch.
Nice.
And you didn't graduate too long ago, you know.
No,
it's hard to do a lot of shit.
Yeah, school held me back a lot in music, and once I graduated, I was like fully working on it, and I've been so productive ever since, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, as much as we can as rock musicians, right? I mean, it happens. But yeah, man, dude, that's amazing. So your mini tour was successful. Are you thinking about doing more in the future? And
yes, we're planning for September. Yeah, September we're planning on tour. I want to get out of state because on this tour we did just down the coast of California. It was the last 3 dates were Monterey.
East Coast tour.
Yeah, I want to do an East Coast tour so badly. Dude, right? It's all about the funds and the logistics. Tours are hard to plan. That is one thing that I learned because venues do not respond to emails at all.
Unless, that's the thing it's like, okay, you need to build the following by doing live shows. Well, how do I do live shows if I can't book a venue because I don't have a following? It's like, what the fuck? It's a mind bender. Obviously, we have social media and all of that stuff, and which is great. But we've talked about on this show many times, there's nothing like playing live or the connection. Mike Mangini famously said it. I think I said this once on the show before, but it is so true that the connection you make with one person in a live show is worth 100 times more than 100 fans on the internet. It's so true. It's just as comparable. I think it's true. It's something special about that. I have connected so much more with artists when I've seen them live than before that. Way more than that.
I totally agree with that. And from both ends, as an artist playing on stage, there's I've made I struggled to make friends online through social media and stuff because I strive on that face-to-face interaction and being able to actually gauge who the person is. Yeah. Which is why I think we connected so well, because we connected online, but we saw each other like face to face because it was like Zoom calls and then the podcast and
exactly.
Yeah, and then we did collabs.
I mean,
and stuff.
I am mad that we didn't get. That's the thing is like every time I'm like I get into those negative mindsets of like, oh, I hate the internet. I wish things were like they were in the '80s, but it would be like I wouldn't know Jonah Doc.
Yeah, then we wouldn't have met.
Maybe it's not that terrible. Exactly, because honestly, like I've said before, one of my favorite people. You're like a brother to me, so it's like I couldn't imagine not knowing you, and we've done so much shit together, and like, yeah, no, it's true. The internet can be great, but I think again, we still had that face-to-face connection. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't just like over a screen people like
important.
messaging. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally
really
agree.
is important, man.
Yeah, and like I've like created some of our fans that I've met at shows are friends of ours, and also like bands that there's been, and then like from like the audience perspective, there's been bands where I've listened to their music and I'm like, I don't like this at all, and then I see them live, and then I love their music. It like the live show is a big game changer for me.
True. No, it's so true. Like, like there's certain bands, obviously. Like, I think if I went to see Cannibal Corpse, it would just solidify my distaste. But I get what you're saying. Like, music that I'm not necessarily into, but like, okay, I can give you I think like the perfect example of this is I had as a gift somebody who loves Broadway given tickets to. Do you know who? If you Googled her, you know she is. Do you know, or maybe you do know who she is? Do you know who Audra McDonald is?
Sounds
She's
familiar,
like a Broadway
right?
singer. She's like a super famous Broadway singer. She was in that show Private Practice, was the spinoff of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. She's been in tons of musicals. She's like super famous in the Broadway community. Yeah, I think she's won more Tonys than like anyone ever.
Yeah, I've definitely my mom's definitely talked to me about her. Like I've definitely heard her name before.
That's the demo. That's the demo. Just so the viewers know. And yeah, no, I was like, oh, she's good. She's super talented. Wouldn't be my thing, but the person was sick, so they gave me back the tickets and I went. And it was such an amazing live experience, and I have such like an admiration and appreciation for her now. It's something that I would never have been into because I got to experience her live and like in person, how she is on stage and as like that connection with the audience and like how personable and real she was, and just like obviously how much she can sing. I already knew that, but like, and then you can go see someone you already love, and it just like blows it off the roof. Like when I saw Mammoth WVH, that concert experience to me was like, okay, they just went from being like a great band to like one of my top 10 favorite
one of the best bands
now.
Yes.
And that's just like how I am like with stuff. So I think it's true though, and I think that's what's missing a lot too. And I think people aren't getting to that much of a. I know people go see concerts a lot and stuff, but like. It's not as much as it used to be, I think, because of the internet and people just live stream or watch something on YouTube or whatever. But it's not the same thing. It's really not, and that's why the price of tickets is a problem, which we could talk about it. Now we're gonna do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
But for the bigger acts, but I'm saying even with people should go out and see smaller acts and support smaller bands, and really that needs to be a thing again. It's so important. And it's important for not just the artists, like selfishly, but it is for like the fans too.
It's for the fans really and the music industry as a whole. Because if we don't support the smaller bands, then because the smaller bands, that's the next generation of rock music, and if you don't support those guys, then there won't be a next generation. Yeah. And we're not just saying this just because we're smaller bands and we want to be big. We're just saying that like that's how it. That's how the industry works.
You know, no, it is true. And, you know, as much as everyone hates to admit it, Lars was right about Napster. He was right. It was bad. It was bad for us. Everything shifted. Look, when music flipped to a entitled culture where everybody expects to consume. Okay, Perfect example. Somebody said this once, and I think it's very true. I forget who it was, but this is a very important thing. Right now, the Mona Lisa is hanging up in an art museum, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth $860 million. So if a billionaire strolled into town and purchased the Mona Lisa, he could purchase that for $860 million.
Mm-hmm.
If I put out a song, or even better yet, the Beatles, Let It Be, for fuck me, right? Let's talk about the Beatles. If the Beatles catalog, they are making less than a penny every time someone listens to one of their songs. Think about how twisted that is.
That's crazy. It's the Beatles.
But it's true.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. Like, and maybe it's not the best example because people are purchasing old catalogs for like a large sum of money. Like Sony just purchased part of Michael Jackson's catalog for like $500 million or something ridiculous crazy. Like that. Or 600 million or something like outrageous. But like, my point is like, as I don't think that catalogs are being built the same way because of Napster. What happened is entitlement culture, which I was getting into, kind of happened, and everybody expects music to be free and to consume. And the same thing happened with streaming companies with movies and TV. Everybody just wants to consume shit for free now. You know, people don't really go out to the movies anymore unless it's like a ton of shit being blown up and, you know, high stakes action movies and stuff. People don't go to the movies. They just wait till it goes on streaming. And there's this entitled culture of paying for a service, giving the suits money, and the artists are making nothing, which was already happening. It was bad enough with the deals that artists were being cut, 10% deals. But now it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, now you're not.
And it's just a culture can't be built like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The whole art. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you bring up a good point. It's like not even just music, because I saw a reel of like Matt Damon talking about how how movies are, and it's like the reason why you don't see like some like the low indie films like you used to see, were the ones that they could like kind of gamble on, was because they could make more money selling DVDs. But now people don't sell DVDs, just like how in the music industry, CDs aren't like sold really anymore. Unless they're collector's
items. And if you think about it, these industries fucked themselves. Well, no, they didn't fuck themselves. The consumers fucked themselves. If you think about it, because think about it this way. You know how we were just talking about the price of tickets, and how artist merch is ridiculously expensive. How all these experiences for artists are ridiculously expensive. How live shows are all these things, right, are so much more money than they used to be. Because the consumer wanted the art for free, they fucked themselves. Because instead of having to pay $10 for a CD, now they have to pay $1,000 for concert tickets.
Yeah,
look what they did to themselves. They did it completely to themselves. That's the irony of it. Is they don't really if they weren't, greed is the corruption of everything. Because they were greedy, they lost so much. I mean, it's true.
Dude, this is so trippy for me because I was yesterday at our gig. I was talking to someone, and then they were talking about like the culture of their town, right? And how it used to be like they'd like at this one restaurant, because they wanted us to play at this one restaurant that they always went to. It was like it was like at like, they would eat. This will connect to it. I promise. They were like, it used to be.
I trust.
At 7 they ate dinner, and then like music would start at 9, and then they'd be out till like 2, like having fun, right? But now they have music starting like only from 7 to 9 in the evening, which is a decent time for music starting, but still like like later would be more fun once everyone has had a couple drinks. They're like letting loose. But and then she was telling me it was because with everything like turning into like all the housing turning into Airbnbs, like all the workers and staff weren't able to get jobs, so they weren't able to have longer hours. And then it came back to the thing that you're saying is like greed corrupts joy. That's what she was telling me.
It's so true. It's so, but the worst part is that it's their own greed. It's not other people's greed. People want to say, and this is the problem with the artist mentality, and this might sound toxic for an artist to be mad at the fans or the consumers, but if you think about it, we always want to say fuck you to the man, right? To the guy in the suit, right? The suits don't get us. They only care about money. It was really the consumers, though, that fucked the music industry, not the suits. Yeah, there were problems that always existed with the business people, how they wanted to sign these deals that would basically be a loan, and then you would spend all of that money, and then you would spend it on the record, and then they'd recoup everything, and then they'd do the tour costs and everything, and then you'd be in debt, and then you'd have to go, and then you would never make money, and it would take you 6 albums to make money. That's a whole problem that was an issue that existed in the old model. And of course, when this shift happened, the suits took advantage of it, like Spotify and stuff, and obviously putting money in their pockets, and that happened again. But that being said, if the artist wants to blame anyone, it's the people that used Napster and protested Metallica and burned Metallica CDs, and those are the people that caused the situation that we're in right now. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, fuck the fans. I don't know what else to say. In the best way possible. I don't know how. Okay, that's too general. Screw those people. That's what I should have said. But it's true.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. They were the enablers. They were the enablers of the suits.
Yes, exactly. And they let their own greed corrupt the bit. And I mean, you could have bought. Think about it. I mean, let me put it this way, right? If a Taylor Swift ticket is like $1,000, which is ridiculous, but it's like $1,000, right? Which, what the fuck? Back $10 CDs, right? Even with inflation, right? If you count inflation, right? Maybe CDs would be $20 today, right? You could still buy 50 albums with the price of going to see one concert. Which is ridiculous.
That is crazy.
And it's, again, you see this in other, and we're not going to get political, obviously. We never do. But you see this in other areas, like inflation happened everywhere, right? And what we mean by that is, I don't mean just price of things going up, but I mean the wages going downward in this case and period in time, which is terrifying. But, you know, it's kind of, it's doing that, which is actually kind of did that when you think about it. But the greed of the consumer, like I said, like I've been saying, like a broken record, just has, I think, worsened that and contributed to that. And the reason why it's like that, too, because the price of everything is so expensive because people need a price gouge now to make money because the normal prices, the way they were making money, don't work anymore because people said that was too much money. It's so mind bending.
It's so messed up. Like,
it's crazy. It's like you could have just bought a CDs for the rest of your life, or bought albums on your phone, and we would not be in this situation. Yeah, and then artists would be going, okay, like I'm making a decent amount of money. Ticket. I'm making a decent amount of money. We could sell $30 tickets. Like, you did this to yourself. I don't know what other way to say it. But yeah, that's my rant is over. I know I'm supposed to be like catching up on what I've been up to, and I'm just ranting because I feel I get the time to do that, and I've missed doing this on our show.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to have rants
of the show. It's such a staple of the show. It's just my outrageous rants for like 15 minutes. But I'm glad we got one in, which is good.
Dude, I missed this, dude. So, but yeah, what have you been up? What have you been up to? We haven't really gotten to besides graduating because you've had
flipping off my school.
Yeah,
no, it's been a busy time, man. I graduated while I was trying to finishing school and graduating. I have been doing a lot of things. Like I told the viewers, and they knew about and why we had a break, or partly because you had the tour. But I had a run off Broadway, which was amazing. I got to be in Head Over Heels, the musical. Off Broadway, ran at the Baruch Performing Arts Center. with some amazingly talented people who were in the cast, and it was such a privilege to be a part of that crew and cast. I know I talked a little bit about it last week when we had Luca on the show. Shout out, Luca. But yeah, no, so that was an amazing experience, which took a couple months to put together and everything. So I've been working on that, and it finally happened and wrapped up, and that was great. I've been working on a ton of music behind the scenes. I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, which have been great.
How have those been going?
I've been really building my community up, and I think I've definitely seen, and those people who will come to the live streams probably watching the show, so hi to all the fans who come to the live streams and stuff. They've been tipping me. They've been engaged. They've been buying my stuff from the streams, been signing up for my Inner Circle, which launched. By the way, I just want to talk about that. I launched something called an Inner Circle. This is me getting in my promo, my Gene Simmons moment on the show. I launched something called Inner Circle. And for my earliest members who are part of my community, I'm currently offering like a one-time $20 for life thing. And you pay $20 and you get in my most private community, which I share like songs that are not done yet. Like I do exclusive like meetings, like Zoom rooms kind of stuff where we just like hang out, play games or watch movies or talk about what I'm working on or social media. Or you can get backstage at shows if you have if you sign up now. But that being said, it's a limited time thing. So if you're excited about it and you know about it yet, you should check it out. But I just launched that, and I've done a couple of those meetings, and the people in there are so incredible. They bought other things for me too. Like I said, they've tipped me in my live streams, bought VIP bundles from me, merch stuff. Like I have like some really cool, it's a smaller, obviously it's tight knit because it's not for everybody, but the people who really feel connected to me and my music and my career more than anything and like my journey, they're just the best people, and I want to shout them out to my Inner Circle. And it's something I'm really proud that it's something I've been working on for months. So I'm really glad that I like finally got out of my own way and did it. Because it's been great, and I'm just looking forward to all the things, the live streams and stuff. I posted this video that kind of went like semi-viral on YouTube. It was pretty funny.
Let's go.
I posted on Instagram too. I don't know if you saw that, Jonah. It was that video that I did with the every breath you take. I posted on my Instagram channel.
Oh yeah, with the like, it had like some other people as well, right?
Yeah, that girl was talking about how she stalked that guy, but it was funny. Anyways, I saw it and I was like, why not? So I'm working up on content right now. I'm redoing my website. I'm redoing a ton of stuff. I'm getting totally ready to revamp and get back out there with music and stuff. I should have like an EP coming out soon. So I've been working on a lot of that.
We need
and
more Nick Valley
I got a lot of things in the works. Like, I think I'm going to Nashville this Memorial Day weekend to check out some studio programs I might enroll in. I don't know what's going to happen, but I've been checking them out, and I think they're pretty cool. I'll tell Jonah more about the details of that after the show. But it's really exciting time. My cover band is kind of like getting back together again with everybody out of school and stuff. And
for the summer break.
Going to do just some gigs and stuff and doing more acoustic shows and, you know, maybe putting my original band together, which is really exciting. It's just a really like I'm putting out a lot of things right now and seeing what comes back. And really like, you know, it's that time in my life I'm really like kind of like figuring out what is next and kind of doing everything I can to move in the right direction forward. So it's been amazing. Joe and I think you kind of have like something exciting coming soon. And then I want to talk about something really important. I want to make sure we talk about another maybe rant, but
okay. Here, wait, let me check my calendar because I want to make sure I get the date right. I'll make an announcement because we haven't announced this yet.
If you don't want, I mean, you don't. I didn't mean to like.
Oh no, it's all good. I've
community.
been so busy that I haven't been able to actually announce this. But June 14th, Jinx is gonna be releasing their next single, "If I Was Perfect."
Wait, Jonah, you know what this means, right? You know what's about to happen, right? Let's go!
Yeah, let's go! Yeah, dude, I'm super excited to get back on the releasing train. Yeah, we've been working on a crap ton of music, trying to squeeze in every second we could get whenever we're back home. But yeah, we're super excited as well, dude. So you guys got a lot of stuff coming for you from Nick and I.
A lot of music. It's going to be really exciting. Content, music, performance stuff. Come on, let's go. Let's do this fucking thing. All right, let's go. That is my favorite thing to do, by the way. Just fucking clip. It's perfect. But yeah, no. That being said, I want to talk about something. I alluded to it earlier. I talked about. I brought it up, and I was like, I'm going to save it for the end of the episode because I think it'll be a good discussion. It's something I definitely like. I knew I wanted to talk to you about at some point. Whenever we got the chance to do this again, then the time is here. The Bon Jovi documentary. Now, I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't. I didn't even know that this thing existed, to be honest. So
no, don't tell me that.
No, I didn't know, dude. I've been so all over the place. I haven't been on Instagram or I haven't been on stuff a lot, but wow. I'm excited to hear about this.
Okay, yeah, I won't give away too much because I want you to watch it, but like. The thing I wanted to talk about doesn't really like spoil anything. It's like a side thing that's related to the documentary. It's something I kind of realized. I was so busy too. I didn't know it. The only reason I saw it because I'm going in out of a major city like New York and seeing.
Oh, is there like billboards with it and stuff? Oh, okay.
Exactly. So that's how I knew about it. So I watched it. It's on Hulu, by the way, if you were wondering. That's where you would watch it. And it's John put together a documentary for the 40th like anniversary of Bon Jovi, and it's kind of like all about his journey and then like kind of the band coming in and like their journey and really though the collective, and it's really cool to see everywhere they came from and all the things they overcame and had to go through and how ahead of their time too they were on a lot of things. And just how many times they reinvented themselves and came back, like tons of respect too for them. Like it's like Bon Jovi and Aerosmith are like the only bands that really like kept coming back every decade and doing a new thing and never like didn't like somehow managed to blend in but also stand out in that decade. Like there's a very short list.
That's impressive.
Maybe Kiss maybe, there's a short list of bands that were able to do that. Who were kind of like confined to one era. Which is really cool and impressive. But that being said, there's a lot of talk post-documentary, and this has been happening for years, obviously. And do you know about the lore though, like a Bon Jovi, like with Richie and everything, right? About like how he left and
for the most part,
all that stuff. Okay, yeah. So that was very interesting to see, and how their perspectives were kind of different about how everything happened. Which it's typical. We've talked about on the show too. Typical band drama, which is fun. But it's not like they don't get along. Like I heard they watched this thing. The two of them watched the first cut of it together. The first people, which was kind of nice. He went to John's house and they kind of like watched it alone together, which is a nice thought to have.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that kind of leads me into what I wanted to talk about. And I had this epiphany about groups, and I want to get your opinion on it and see if you agree. And this has always been my dream for many years, right? To be like the lead singer of a rock group. And that's going to happen for me. Right now I'm doing solo efforts and stuff, but I'm seeing what's going to happen. And don't be surprised to all my fans, whatever happens in my career, if, because that will happen for me. And I'm very excited to do that. But my point of saying that is, I've always have wanted to be like, like a front man or like that kind of thing. And I had this epiphany where I was like, there's the front man, but every rock group really has two front men. If you think about it, it's usually the guitar player and the singer.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
totally
it's not
true.
like, and I was like, wait a second. It's like, because what made me realize this is Richie talked a lot about how he was kind of a lead singer a lot in a lot of other bands, and he had record deals and all that kind of stuff, and he kind of came into Bon Jovi, and it was like kind of his first time being like the guitar player, and like, and And the thing about that's cool about them, and there's some other bands too, and there's a couple of them. Like Kiss is like one of those bands. Alice in Chains is one of those bands where you have like two vocalists that like their vocals they're almost like they're not like singer and background vocalists. They're almost like both kind of
Yeah, no,
singer,
I get what you're saying.
which is really cool. And I was watching that, and I was like, yeah, no, but I started realizing, oh yeah, like think about all the bands, like, and there's some bands where even the guitar player, like Van Halen, for example, like the guitar player is kind of like Eddie was the front man of that group.
Yeah.
You know, like as much as David Lee Roth was in the front doing acrobats and like like your eyes always went to Eddie, or like, you know, it's fascinating to me because I've had this, and I think a lot of people do too. It's like this mindset of like, oh yeah, the singer, and then there's the guitar player and the bass player, and you're like, it's bound to happen every episode, right?
Yeah. The counter.
But always the worst inopportune times when I'm in like
when you're in the zone.
Exactly. And, you know, it's not always the guitar player. Like in Motley Crue, you know, Tommy got a lot of attention, and, you know, Nikki as
the songwriter.
Which is, I don't even think the singer is, and the guitar player are even the most interesting in that band. It's the other two, which is never happens. But, you know, you could think of every Kiss, for example, like Gene's a bass player and Paul's a singer, but they're both the front man. Like, rock groups, at least the great ones, and I noticed this. Okay, here's the difference. And this is why I think I win the Creed and Nickelback argument. And you're going to hate me for this, but I think I win. And let me explain why. Because when I think of Creed, and I don't know how, you're probably not that deep into the Creed lore, right? Lore of
I don't know much about Creed, yeah.
All right. But when Creed fans, or like, it's like any other band, when you think of Creed, you think of, and Brian and Scott Phillips are great too, the drummer and the bass player, but Mark Tremonti and Scott Stapp, it's another one of those duos, right? And this is why I think I win, and this is why I think Creed was, like, Nickelback had a lot of success, but I feel like they had a very short window of time where they were like super famous and they kind of went out, if that makes any sense. And Creed was like the biggest band in the world for like a solid decade. And I think the reason for that was, if you look at all the history and stuff, is because they had that thing. And I think every band that is less like the history has that dual frontman thing. That's two people in the band that really like, because that's the excitement of the band, right? Is like having these two people that you're equally drawn to when you're watching it.
Yeah, it's not just one person
Halen,
holding
like
everything together. It's divided between the
those
two.
bands go out very quickly. The bands where you only know, like, it's like the singer and the other people, that goes away very quickly. It only lasts for so long because band culture is all about that camaraderie and having several stars. Let's put it that way. Several stars in one band. Does that make any sense? That's the best way I can describe it.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't agree with you on the Creed is better because with Nickelback, they are a brother band. They started with Chad and his brother started Nickelback. So
I wasn't gonna say I wasn't going to say, I didn't mean better. I think what my point was, I think that's why maybe they had more chart success or whatever. Like, not that, like, you're a Nickelback fan. Like, I didn't even know that. Like, I only know Chad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And most people that are like know of Nickelback think, oh, it's Chad Kroeger and some other dudes. You know what I'm saying? That was my point of it. But like when you think of Bon Jovi or Van Halen or Motley Crue or Kiss or Aerosmith, it's like, oh yeah, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, Nuno Betancourt and Gary Sharon, like whatever it is, right? It's always that duo that makes it work. But yeah, that was kind of my small rant epiphany. I wanted to kind of and get your thoughts on that, and what you kind of think.
I do have some thoughts on that, and I think you're absolutely right. Like the success of a band does depend on how many stars are in the band. It can't just be one person holding it together. Like normally it's like two or more. But I feel like that applies mainly to like bands from the 70s through 90s, because that's when like guitar and musicianship were through the roof. Like most of those part of those duos are, it's like you were saying, the vocalist and guitarist, because like 80s was the prime time for guitar heroes.
But yes, 80s, but it started with Page and Plant. Like
that's why I included 70s in there, and like
exactly.
even like
Townsend,
late 60s
Townsend and Daltrey.
Yeah, and then Tony Iommi,
McCartney and Lennon, obviously, but that's just like another duo.
Yeah. Well, in the Beatles,
bands,
I feel like it's everyone. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, and the best bands are the ones where like you can say everyone. Well, the Zeppelin's like that too. I mean, Bonham and John Paul Jones.
Zeppelin,
like
you could say that. I feel like Green Day.
For me,
you
Van
could say
Halen.
that. Yeah, Van Halen, you could say that. And then of course, like
with
like
both
you could
versions,
say like
in my opinion.
all the like top ones, top charting, like Metallica. You could name all of them. You could name every single member they've had, except like their very, very, very first bassist before they got successfove
I thought you were gonna say except Dave Mustaine. I was like, whoa.
No.
We do not need dude. Dave Mustaine is the king of the comeback. We do not need that shit on this show. I feel like you're just gonna say the earliest members, and I was like, "Damn, Jonah."
No, I would not. I would not diss Dave Mustaine, dude. He's a funny person.
He's interesting. No, but yeah. So I totally agree. Obviously, you want the entire band to be great, but you at least have to have that duo, like at least that partnership. At least in my opinion. But I'm glad you agree on that. I didn't mean to cut you off though. I think you were saying about the 80s, like
I was so like because like that era when with all the guitar heroes and stuff, like you don't see, like I feel this is gonna be crazy because I'm having an epiphany off of your epiphany. We're having but like a lot of the bands you see nowadays that aren't like, I feel like the one of the reasons a lot of them don't stick out is because they only have that one frontman. Like all the other musicians are more background musicians. It seems
their priority is let's get the guy in the front out there and make him interesting, and we could just blend in. No, that's how you fade away. Yeah, that's how you have one or two hits and die.
And that's why you. And then the successful bands like The Warning, for example. Like if you listen to The Warning, you know all three of their names. They're all sisters, and it's not just one of them that stands out.
True. No, I totally agree. I think Maneskin's like that too. I mean, when I see Maneskin,
all of them are
Dom, but if we're being honest, we see Dom and we see Victoria, right? I mean, those two obviously stand out because she's the girl in the band. She's very interesting, very outrageous. And then Dom's the front man. He's obviously dynamic. And the other two are great. Don't get me wrong. They're all very dynamic. But there you go again. It's one of those things. It's like they have the two. The other guys are great and they are dynamic, but they have the two. And it works. Yeah. It always works. That's the thing. And then, there are certain exceptions to the rule. Like, I think maybe Wolfgang Van Halen is an exception just because of the magnitude of his star.
Yeah, because he has
Foo Fighters work because of Dave, but Taylor was there.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, with Foo Fighters, it started with Dave, and he wrote good songs. But all Foo Fighters fans know that Foo Fighters is Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins. Like
exactly,
they were the dream.
Obviously, we still support him. We love him. Yeah, and we still support him and love. Obviously, it's sad. Obviously, what happened. But we still. But to me, it's never going to be the same.
Yeah, it's
because that thing is gone. It's and that's not disrespect to Josh Freese because I think he's a fucking beast. And
he's an amazing drummer, and he's like
amazing.
The perfect pick to fill in that slot. With Taylor not here,
but it's like you just said, it's like a fill-in thing. It's not the thing.
You can't replace
Taylor and
that
Dave
connection.
had that dynamic. Dave's done that twice because Dave was the guy. It was Dave and Kurt in Nirvana.
Yeah,
it's like, it's crazy. And like, for me at least, I know Pearl Jam is a very big band, but like, and obviously they have Stone Gossard and they stand. But in that band, you really just think of Eddie Vedder, right? I mean, when you think of Pearl Jam. and I just don't like. It doesn't have the same allure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like this thing that surrounds these bands that have multiple stars. I don't know. It's a hard thing to describe. Like Rage Against the Machine, Tom and Zach. Mm-hmm. There's so many of them. It's ridiculous. We could sit here all day and do this.
Yeah, and I think it goes
but
back
that's
to...
missing so much right now. It's missing so much right now. We need that.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And what I was gonna say is like it goes back to I'm sure you remember this. We were talking about this is I feel like this was probably like in season 1. We were talking about what's missing in the rock industry is the mystery that went behind it. And I feel like that star status being larger than life, like that contributes to a lot of the mystery. And when you have multiple people and like divides your attention among the entire band, and and it also
like,
goes
what the
back,
fuck did I just experience?
Yeah, it's like exactly. That's the best way to put it. It's like
you know how it feels. The best way to describe it. You know how it feels when two solo artists do like a special performance together, and you watch a video and you're like, "Wow, that's incredible." It's like that all the time. Mm-hmm. It's like any of these people, especially but two, right? Okay, whoever it is, like Gary or New. When I saw Extreme, right? Gary's up there killing it, and Nuno's just at the same level as him. Like proximity-wise, they're both in the front. You know what I mean? That's my point of saying two frontmen. Or like Richie and John, but like you're looking at this and you're like, wow, either of them could have been big solo artists on their own. But this makes it like so much fucking better.
Yeah, they were able to
you know what I mean?
Combine I know exactly what you mean. They were able to combine their art, make something even greater than what both of them would have been able to do by themselves.
It's incredible. It's cool. So, you know. But I think my new dream, instead of being the front man, like I've always like had in my head of being Sammy Hagar, is I want to be Sammy Hagar with Eddie Van Halen one day. You know what I mean? Like that's my dream now and it was a huge mindset shift for me. I was like, wow, like, yeah, no, like I think my real dream is to just have like that level of, I want to bring that back, you know, more than anything else, which is, I think, super important. And we need, I think you all agree with us. And I don't know. I can't really think of a better way to like wrap up such a special, like us getting to do this again. We've had so many. We need more of this because there's so much gold when we do this. You know what we're gonna have to do? I just thought of this, and again, this is me just like spitballing in front of the viewers because why not? Instead of keeping it private, which I probably should.
In true Rev Rock fashion.
We don't even need to do a merch line. In honor of me starting my own subscription service, I feel like we should have a subscription service for the show where like we should just do interviews as the show. We should do interviews as the regular show. And then if people want to see this shit, like we should just have like an extra episode a week where it's just like fucking us and like doing this. Because we can do it in the same time. You know what I mean? Like think about it. It's lucrative. We don't have to like any overhead costs. And people get something out. I think people get... I don't know. I get so much out of this for me. And as much as I love the guests, I'm realizing just how much I fucking miss this.
Yeah, no, I miss this so much.
so much. But yeah. Hey, look at that, Jonah.
Viewers.
Think of the symbolism of that. I just thought, yes, do let us know. But Jonah, I just thought of a better way to end this episode.
Yeah.
Think of the symbolism of that. Us together on this show is We're doing the thing that we just talked about for 15 minutes. Look,
that's why the show's so fun. Because we're two stars.
I know. We're another one of those dream teams, right? What am I saying, right? Well, I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up. So, unless you have anything else you want to...
I don't have anything else. That's a good way to end it for me.
All right. Well, until next time, my name is Nick Valley.
I'm Jonah Dockenai, and we're... Rev Rock Revolution!
Rev Rock Revolution! We'll see you with the guests next week. Peace.